Podría fundirse hielo está tan caliente.
All right, that was Sometimes It Snows in April. And here, as promised, is Landyn Banx to explain the film to us. So, Landyn, what the hell was that about?
That is a very good question. I'm still trying to figure out the answer to that. Sometimes It Snows in April is just one of those crazy films written and directed by the fabulous Toby Jones. That was actually the first student film that I auditioned for and got back in the fall of 2007. So that was the second one I shot, but the first one that I got. So that was fun. So I had to read the script quite a few times to figure out what that was about. But I think it's, it has its humor. It has almost around 3,000 or 4,000 hits on YouTube as well, which for a student film was very good. So yeah, I think the character I played, Stanley Cyberspace, is very different. I think he's looking for love, and the love he has is the love of his mother. And when Zorba comes into the picture and tries to take that love of his mother away from him, he gets very jealous of him, and he can't accept him. So I think that's why he, awesome.
So can you explain to us some of the symbolisms and some of the meanings in the whole thing? Like, what was the suitcase with the money in it? What was that supposed to represent?
I think that kind of symbolized the greed that Stanley felt. He wanted his mother all to himself, just like he wanted the money all to himself. So that's where I think that came into play. So,
now, since that was one of your first student shorts, how has your experience with student films, because you've done a lot of them, how has that evolved over the years? What do you know now that you didn't know then, specifically for a student film?
A lot. I didn't know what to expect. I'd always had other actor friends, like my friend Miss Nicole had always talked about doing student films. And, I'm like, well, I got to jump on that bandwagon. And that was 2007, 3 years ago, when I first started my acting career. So it was fun being my first one. I didn't really know what to expect going in there. And they've, over the years that I've done them, they've gradually got, bigger productions and more cast and crew and everything behind the scenes. So, but it was fun. It was a very small crew for that, very small cast. It was a 3-day shoot, and shot actually in November of 2007 on the scene I was in with the money in the suitcase was shot in Northeast Minneapolis on Central Avenue, and it was like 25 degrees. It was freezing out. That was the earliest I ever had to get up for a shoot to at like 5 in the morning. We started like 6:37 in the morning. So, and filming with traffic going back and forth, and morning rush hour. That was quite a thing. And plus, I was also wielding the gun on the streets, which. We had permission and everything for that, too, so. You didn't hear that from me.
So no cops came screeching up?
Not that day, no, that was another set.
Yelling, on the ground, dirtbag!
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
You said that how the films have gotten bigger and better. Do they seem to go more smoothly now, have you seen?
I think it depends on the project, and who you're working with. I did another film with Toby, Janitor's Quest 2000, right before the election, November 2008, which was a fun film as well. I played the evil Solomon in that, so it was fun to work with him. He does a lot of good work and very different stories, so he was a lot of fun to work with. I hope to work with him again someday. He just graduated about a year ago, but he's still in the area here, so
that's good.
Hopefully someday that'll happen.
Yeah, hopefully you put some good memories in his mind.
I hope so, or bad ones that he can't get out.
Whatever, yeah. Going to use Landyn for this.
Oh, yeah. He actually just had a project a while ago. I emailed him for it, and he's like, oh, I got to fit him in there or something, but didn't happen for that one. But I'm sure somewhere down the road, something will work out.
How many of his films were you in?
2 so
just
far.
Those 2?
Yeah,
okay.
That he did at MCAD, yeah.
Okay.
So those were a lot of fun.
So do you have any fun stories or interesting occurrences that took place while shooting Sometimes?
Yes, actually, towards the end of the film where I was running out the door, we did that scene. We filmed it a few times, and it wasn't up to the speed that they were looking for. So I was inside and they yelled action. I ran out the door and ripped the screen door right off. I was like, ooh, I can pay for that if you want me to.
But they paid for it, right?
Oh, actually, the mother wasn't mad when we filmed it at, I think it was Whitney Weir's mother's house in St. Louis Park, Minnesota here, that scene. And when she came home that afternoon or whatever, she's like, oh, yeah, I have a new glass screen door in the basement. As long as you bring that one up and put it on, would be great, because I want to take that one off anyway. I'm like, yay! So, yeah, that worked out well, but it was very embarrassing. It was like the first time on a set, I'm like, oh, shoot, did I break that? I'm also notorious for breaking guns on a set. So if you have me on your set and I have a gun, I'll probably break it.
Did you break the gun on this one?
I'm not sure. I probably did, whatever. It's my MO,
Okay, so no guns. But crossbows you're okay with?
Oh, of course, right in the middle of the forehead. But I remember shopping for clothes for the film in Uptown and stuff, just trying to find whatever, and I, taking a picture of my cell phone and sending Toby, like, do you like this? Do you like that? And we decided on the blue vest, and it was a combination of both of us, the blue vest that I got and the orange vest, and then those late 1980s tied acid wash Levi jeans, and then the Converse shoes, and he had like the purple shirt underneath and the red glasses, which I kept. I'm like, thank you, this is a souvenir. He's like, sure, keep it. So I'm like, that was fun. I try to keep a little memento or 2 or 3 from each film I do. So, but that was fun, and that was when that actually paved the way, because that showed in like the January, February of 2008 at MCAT at their annual, 2 or 3 times a year they have their screenings for the student films, and that paved the way for about 5 or 6 other films I did during that time. So it was a lot of fun. It was a really good experience, and people have really liked it. I've been called Stanley Cyberspace before, from friends, that have seen it online. So it was a lot of fun. I had a good time on my, first student film that I did, so good memories.
Since you've done so many, what advice would you have for a local actor, or an actor anywhere, who maybe has not done student films before, and then...
I would tell them it's a good way to get experience, if you're just starting out, you want to get experience on projects, and before you get to bigger projects, it's kind of fun to have a few of those under your belt, because the filmmakers of today might be, the filmmakers of tomorrow, and it's nice if they can remember you when, someday when they're big in Hollywood, but, and also, some student films I've done haven't gotten completed, some have, so I always, future reference, I'm going to have contracts, I at least need to have footage. If you don't complete it, I totally understand, but at least I need to see what I did on my behalf, so I know how to, improve my trade and craft as an actor. So
and so you have something for your reel.
Exactly. So my reel is made up mostly of student films, a lot from Andrew Gingrich. It's like 90% of my reel, so love working with him. Just did a little part as you as well in his feature senior thesis film, Discouraging Words, which is awesome. Saw you there at the screening a few weeks ago, so that was a lot of fun. Great job in that.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you. The little
cowboy hat and everything.
Yeah, and then the voice of Martha too, actually.
Yes, that's right. So you're branching out into voiceovers as well.
Yes, So that was a lot of fun. I think Andrew's the director I've worked with the most out of any director, 6 times.
Wow. Yeah,
and hopefully more down the road. So
yeah,
he knows his stuff, and he's amazing. And I always love to be included in his projects, because he's so much fun to work with, and he finishes all of his stuff and does a great job. So it's always a lot of fun to be a part of his films. Yeah. His are kind of like Toby's too in the writing style, that they're kind of a little, different, and like the Who's Landyn Banx when he showed last time. I mean, who can make heads or tails of that? But it's kind of like if you try to decipher it and read too much into it, kind of ruins it a little bit. Like with Sometimes It Snows in April that we just saw. Kind of fun just to watch it. Hopefully you'll laugh time or two, and then just kind of like, okay, I totally didn't understand it, but it was fun, so I don't really have to.
Yeah, very true. That was a very funny one.
It was.
Although I kept wondering, I have no idea what's going on, but maybe that's the point of it.
I know, and exactly, and I know there was one scene that got cut out because one of the other actor that I shot, Tyler Luke, in there, he lived in Winona. So he, the weather permissions and conditions in his, working and everything, college on Winona kind of prevented him from coming up here for one day to film. So there was a scene where him and his boss, played by Lewis,